record because
so many times. All right. Welcome, everybody, back to another episode of Dried Blood, the after-action report from D20 Deathmatch. This time, our very first 2v2, and it was a hell of a showdown. How'd you guys feel about that?
Yeah. How did you feel about like the bonds that you had to make?
I'm so sorry.
I feel great.
Sorry, was that 2v2, was it? I was just curious what the 2v2 part was, but yeah,
You had a robot. What are you on about? You had a little doll. It was...
yeah, that's right. Yeah, no, that's yeah, that's right. 2v3, 4.
2v1, v1, v doll.
1v, 2v plus.
Yeah, there was a lot of teams swapping and switching and shenanigans going on, I think.
2v2 v1.
Yeah, but I
felt
think
good at the end.
it worked out.
Yeah.
Yeah, in the end, I didn't want to kill anybody except for Steely Dan.
Oh,
No, I'm just kidding. No, man, you bring a Paladin Warforged to a fight? Come on. No.
Yeah, it
That
was
was
funny
pretty
because there was a choice where I was like, I could just do my own lay on hands here, but I was like, nah, let it go. But it was like there was a point where I was like 60 hit points. I was like, yeah, I could lay on hands just back to full and it would be fine. And I was like, nah.
We have had that happen before.
Yeah.
Now,
Just gotta say though, Ramji, I love that character so much.
He's
Yeah, that was
class.
so much.
I have to admit, the most underrepresented part of this that I thought would make a huge part of this fight was the fact that three of you were scales, right? We got two lizard folk, one dragonborn, and I thought they're going to bond. They're going to be like, see me in you sort of thing. And then you all just didn't even touch that. Like, it didn't even matter.
I think
I thought that's what was going to happen. But no.
Yeah, I definitely was expecting. I loved all your characters. They were all really good in different ways, and they were just all like four very different types of individuals, and so that was super fun. All I gotta say, I really liked the Macho Man Randy Savage stuff, Chuck.
That was so
It
good.
was so
It was
huge.
good. It
So
was good,
consistent as
Yeah.
well.
Is that moustache specifically for today, or is that your general
No,
moustache?
this is just how I look. Yeah,
So you just the Macho Man Randy Savage all the time, is what you're saying.
yeah, yeah.
I just look like a wrestler.
It's just my face.
I get
all the
Nigel
time.
Thornbury a lot, actually. So
You
know-
Oh, can you give us a
That's
profile?
compliment.
Now,
of Nigel Thornbury.
Just like, no, just...
People-
Yeah, no, it's perfect.
Listen, you got to be careful. I've seen some really intense shippers around Nigel Thornberry.
now that
What?
you mentioned it, you do look an awful lot like Nigel Thornberry.
Yeah.
I would not
And
have
once
put
it
that
got
together.
pointed out, I was like, oh yeah, okay.
You
Yeah.
can't
Kind of in this like
you
mummy
can't unsee
period where
it.
he's still young and gallivanting about.
Yeah.
Here's what I want to know. At which point were you most proud of each of your characters? I don't care who wants to go first, but like when you went through this battle, you were like, listen, this is who my character is. Or perhaps if you thought like I never got to bloom, like what did you need in this moment to make your character what you wanted it to be? Who would like to go first?
I'm happy to go first. I will say, like I built Chuck around just doing things unarmed, so wrestling moves and grabbing, obviously the improvised weapon thing I was on the cards because I thought, maybe we'd be like grabbing chairs and slapping each other and everything. And then like halfway through I was like, oh, it's not, we're in a room of gears, so I don't know if this is going to come into play, but that was cool. And then when he got the chance to slap Thaslock with Steely Dan, I was like, I was stoked. I was like,
Yeah, I was very happy about that as well.
yeah.
It possibly could have been more gruesome if it were not a Warforged.
Yeah. Yeah. Man, that was good. All of his other wrestling attempts didn't fire thanks to poor dice rolls, but that was
I'm
very
sure
good.
you will know this, but Steely Dan is a reference to a William Burroughs novel, which is a steam-powered dildo, Japanese steam-powered dildo called
Yeah.
Steely Dan. And so the band's named after that, and Steely Dan the third is the third, as in there's the dildo, the band, and then Steely Dan, right? And so
Wait a minute, the 3 prongs.
being slapped around the face by a Steely Dan, that's a bit more than you thought it was when you were improvising that weapon, mate. That's all I'm saying.
That is a whole nother context I did not anticipate.
It's a whole second level under the first
Yeah.
level.
Yes.
So is that the epitome of
That's deep.
Steely Dan? Like that's the name, and now it has fulfilled its top action.
Absolutely. It's like you've been hit by a Hitachi magic wand. Deal with it.
say the fact that probably like the most stupidly edgy character I've ever played, and I really wanted to give it a go, was killed by getting slapped in the turkey slapped essentially.
Yeah.
If that's not a sign from the universe, like I don't know what it is.
Yeah, I'm gonna say, by the way, that was the edgiest edgelord I've ever edged up against.
I'm so sorry. I've never played like a serious person before. I'm like, let's give it a bash.
And
That
now
was
you never
good.
will again.
I was getting a lot of like Batman vibes.
Yes.
Oh, that poor guy. Like he has
yeah.
to talk like that the whole time. How does he
Yeah.
keep a career?
No, it's not doable. He loses his
love-
voice in a week.
I just loved your constant dialogue about the ocean, and you're just like, we're here in this fight, and you're just like, yeah, the ocean.
This guy needs his own monologue
Just-
every single
like
time.
having
Give
your
him a
own-
spotlight and a soapbox.
Just like having your own conversation. I love that. Oh,
I think to pick up on your question from earlier, the thing for me it was when Dan was dealing with his spool right at the beginning. He rolled his one, and he was dealing with his spool tapes all over the floor, and then you were just beating him over the head, and he was completely. Like that to me was like the epitome of Dan. Is just like, yeah, well, my tapes, my beautiful tapes. I can't speak without them.
I've got a priority.
oh,
You
this-
had some wonderful little story moments, and it was absolute pleasure to witness.
Mhm.
It's lovely. It's really fun. I felt so sad when the doll died.
Your
Uh,
BFF.
That's so funny. Ricardo, what was your shining moment? Or do you feel like you got it? Were you still waiting on it?
I'm not sure. I don't think there was anything I was expecting. Ricardo was just a giant stereotype, but I don't know. Maybe the epitome. I mean, he did get. Well, now he knows that he got some sex out of this match. After all, he didn't know that there's dildos involved, and now
He was more
beautiful
excited about
thing.
the after
It's a beautiful
show.
thing. Yeah, I think the most exciting part for me was the bull, the spiritual animal. So was
Which
good.
you called Bull One.
bull. I mean, you put me on the spot.
Little one.
It's JUAN.
That's
It's
that,
actually
it's
a
that
name.
Little
improv.
Little one. Yeah, that's improv. That's-
One.
Yeah, Bill Wan. Bill
Yeah,
Wan.
I'm
What's the bull's name?
professional here.
Yes, and.
Yes. Sam.
I think it worked out great. That was a really fun
Yeah.
episode. That's one of the more fun ones we've had so far. And I'm always surprised like when we do this how much narrative we can fit into what amounts to everyone just killing each other
Yeah,
in like
yeah.
in an unceremonious death match. Like a lot of people have a hard time I think reconciling RP with combat, and I think you guys did awesome at inserting a lot of RP, a lot of story into something that really has no story. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So that was great job to you guys.
And I have to say, Theslock, your character in particular really propelled this really interesting betrayal, and then betrayed on you because you thought you were working with the other team, but they didn't really accept you on that end, even though you were always a team of one. Like it was from start one, like you were like, I'm gonna switch things up. Was this well, obviously maybe not the outcome that you anticipated, but were you hoping for things to be better?
Not really. Like the kind of the prior story that I came up with this character was that like he slaughters people in the bay, and he does it himself, and he does it in his environment. And so like the fact that the first thing I saw was that we're in Gears and we have a Warforged, I'm like without ever saying it, it was like a switch. He is now threatened because someone's in their element, and he knows how dangerous that can be. So it was purely like a survival thing, and it didn't really account for partnerships or friendships, and it went exactly as it should have.
Yes. There's a time and place for every character and how they live and how they die. I like that.
I just
like
really, really liked that your character was like, I'm betraying you. And then like 5 seconds later, you're like, I was betrayed.
Hold up here.
Bullshit that out to me.
Okay, to wrap us up for the ending, from the perspective of your characters, one sentence of advice. Just think about it, like as a final, like here's it is, like in this fight or in the next fight, like what is your takeaway from this that you are thinking of, that your character has now learned in this lesson, live or die in this situation, moving forward? Where does it put you?
Let's go left or right. Pass, you're up.
Damage resistance is invaluable.
Forgeling, your words of wisdom.
Stay out of range, stay out of sight.
Ricardo.
Feel like that was mine. I don't
Yeah.
know. Like, have fun, have sex, and live long. That's all.
Steely Dan.
Like big butter can of limes.
Beautiful.
All right, that's it. We'll see you guys on the next episode of D20 Deathmatch.